What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're in the shop this morning, and behind me right here I have a range extender for a Volvo semi. So anyway, this is a 65 gallon capacity range extender, and it holds liquid electricity. It's like an Energizer. You know, it's silver. It's a little bit shorter than usual, but anyway, so this holds 65 gallons, and then the red spinny thing under the hood converts it into forward motion, and so it extends the range of the truck. So anyway, we're gonna see if we can get this thing mounted on there. I don't have all the plumbing stuff right now to hook up all that, but I'm hoping we can at least get it mounted on the truck or see if it's gonna fit. I'm not 100% sure how this is gonna work out. So anyway, we'll get the truck pulled in here and we'll check it out a little bit more. All right, guys, so right here is where that we're gonna mount this little range extender. And here is the straps right here, or at least one of them. And I'm gonna have to drill some holes in the frame here. And we're gonna mount it in this area right here. At least that's the plan. I was thinking that this might be a little bit of a challenge to get this one the same level as the other one, height wise and everything, but it looks like that the bolts that are in this frame here already, it looks like they're all on the same plane. If you look here, these bolts, there would be a hole here in this other tank strap back here. The bolts appear to be on the same plane, which means I should be able to possibly even use one or two of these holes here, and that'll locate it. And then over here, position beside here, come straight over and drill a hole. So it should not be too difficult to do this. There's nothing on the inside of the frame rail here as far as lines or hoses or anything that's going to get in my way. So we should be good to go on that. I just got to get this held up here and get some marks on it, figure out where it's got to go, and then we can set our mag drill up and drill this thing and get these things mounted. Alright, guys, it appears at first glance this is going to be pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I've held this bracket up here and got my marks on my holes on this side. You can't really see them on the other side. I'm going to have to probably remark that. I'll get these drilled here and get some bolts in it to hold it, and then I'll take some paint and mark over there on that rusty stuff over there where I can see a little bit better and everything. I need to scrape that frame off right here before I put this tank up here. Spray a little fresh paint on it. You see it's got some rust behind the paint there, but I'm glad that all these bolt holes are on the same plane. I think that's really going to simplify things for me and allow me to use a couple of these existing holes here to line everything up. This one here I'm just going to be putting right beside it, but I can use the holes that's there, you know, to line them up straight across and everything. So it should work out pretty well. So let me get the drill set up there and we'll see if we can get some holes started drilling. All right, so I'm not too sure how well you can see what we're doing here. I gotta get this kind of lined up right here. This frame's a little rusty, so I don't know how well this is gonna stick here. It's not positioned exactly like I want it. Alright, that ought to do the trick right there. I need to get some coolant over here to spray on that. It's a tight little spot to get in here. You would not want to drill that with a hand drill. I have done it, but it's definitely not preferred, and it's definitely not that fast. So let me get some more of these drilled here, and then we will get this bracket held up here. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing too well, because neither can I. Looks like where that one's going to go. I'm going to use those two holes to set my strap back up here and double check everything, put 2 bolts in it, make sure everything lines up like it's supposed to, and then we can go from there before I get too far ahead of myself. Okay. That's how that's supposed to work right there. Now that I got that up there, these here line up good, and I'm going to take me some marking paint over there and paint on that other side so that I'll be able to see them as well. Alright guys, so I've got these over here all drilled. Just sprayed it down with some brake clean, let it dry off, and spray some paint on it. I believe on this other end right here, I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about doing this, but I'm thinking I can take these upper and lower bolts out and put that bracket on them bolts and then drill holes here and there. We should be good. I'm going to measure one more time just to verify that, but I think that's going to be the best way to go about doing that. Alright guys, so this is the bolts right here, the nuts that I took off. The bolts are still sticking through. These go to the cross member, or a cross member that goes across between the frame rails to hold the frames together. And so anyway, I pulled them loose. They're on the same plane, they line up. That's the top and bottom bolt I'm going to use from those existing bolts. And I'm going to drill 2 more in between them. Drill 4 right here, and we'll be ready to bolt the straps on. My cutter here got dull, and I wound up having to sharpen this thing with a cutoff wheel on a grinder because I don't have another cutter this size, and so it took me a little bit of figuring out what to do there, but I got it going my way, I think. Alright guys, so I've got the tank sitting here. I've got the brackets mounted back there, strap brackets. I think I'm going to have to do something different with these valves here. I've got to get some different fittings and stuff. I think I'm going to have to put a 90 on this upper valve right here in order to get the orientation right on the fill cap here, because I think I'm going to have to angle it over a little bit further to be able to get fuel in it up under there. But we'll see when I get it on there if it'll fit and everything. So I'm going to try to get this weasel in there. I've got some rubber that'll go in between that tank and them straps back there as well, but I'm going to go ahead and get the tank situated up in there before I try to slip it in behind there. So let me see if I can get this thing situated up in there and get it in there and get it in the straps and at least get it up on the truck. Like I said, I can't plumb it right now because I don't have any of the fittings or anything. And I'm actually, if I have to take this valve loose, I may have to loosen the straps back up so I can turn the tank and get to the valve. But that won't be that big a deal. If I can at least get it up on there and get the straps snug, it won't be a big deal to back the nuts back off and rotate it and everything so I can get it plumbed up. Alright guys, so I got it stuck up on there. I'm not 100% done yet. I've got to get a different fitting for that valve on the back, as I was saying, because it is hitting the frame rail and that's as far down as I can bring it. I just need a 45-degree fitting because I need to bring this down just a little bit further right here so I'll be able to put fuel in it, because I don't think that you'll be able to get to it where it's at right there, at least not very well. So I need to bring this down about 2 inches. So I'm going to have to get a 45-degree fitting to do that on the back side, and I'll have to loosen my straps up and rotate this thing down just a little bit to make that fit. So I'm going to go ahead and get the side fairing here put back on and everything, and then whenever I go uptown to get the fittings and everything and get that tied in back there, we're going to loosen that back up and rotate this down some. Alright guys, I cranked it up, let the cab air back up. That would almost work, but it still needs to rotate down about 2 inches just to make it easier. I think you could probably make that work, but I'm going to get a 45 fitting whenever I get my fittings, and we'll rotate this thing down just about 2 inches, so the bottom of it's about right there where my thumb's at, about that much. The valves out there in a little bit, we'll be good to go. Alright guys, so I can pretty well get to that pretty good right there. Cab's raised up and everything. Don't have any problem. Put the nozzle down in there. Alright guys, so that's a wrap for this video. I got everything on there. I got it the neck turned right, so it'll be pretty easy to get fuel in it and everything. Pop that side fairing up, stick your nozzle in there, and all should work good. I had a little bit of problems getting the valves turned kind of like I wanted them. They're still not 100% like I wanted them, but I had to do with the fittings that I could get at the parts house. It's all the fittings they had in stock, so I did the best I could with what I had to do with and getting them orientated where you could make sure you turn both valves on or off, or one on and one off, and they would clear. I had to shorten the handle up on one of them a little bit, had to cut it down so that when I turned it off and on, it would clear the other one. But anyway, I got it on there. Everything's plumbed up, tied in. Hopefully won't have any trouble with the levels of the tank balancing, wind up with more fuel in one tank than the other. Usually your right side tank will have a little bit more fuel than the left side tank by 2 or 3 inches because the slant of the road or whatever, and then when you pull over on the shoulder, you know how they transfer over. But hopefully we won't have any trouble with it, and everything will work good with it. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.